He come up here from San Antonio. Kerry's the executive director, and he wanted to talk to everybody about what it is that the mission is and what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. Everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. We'll try to work our way through the music. My name is Kerry Wise. Like he said, I'm the executive director for the Texas Nationalist movement. I live down in Hondo, Texas. Everybody know where Hondo is? All right. We like to have a little fun down there, and we like to chase cows and shoot doves and all that other kind of stuff. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to introduce all of you into what the Texas Nationalist movement is all about. We're going to talk about Texas independence, and I've got a presentation, not a formal presentation. I'm just going to tell you what it's all about, and I'm going to ask you all if you will hold your questions until I'm done with that portion of the presentation. I have sat in your chair before, especially if you're here for the very first time, and I know that there are 10,000 questions at least that everybody's got. All right? So I'm going to ask you to hold those until we're done. We'll try to get through as many of them as we can. We'll try to answer them as best as we can. Some of them we have answers for. Some of them I'll explain to you why there's not a hard, fast answer. But we want to go ahead and get the initial information over to everybody. As you know, since the election, things have blown up. So everybody's concerned. Some people are mad. We got pretty much every emotion in the world going on out there. We want to try to address that tonight. But I want to start off because I'm a guy from out of town. Now supposedly that makes me an expert, okay? But I'm a guy from out of town, and you need to know a little bit about me so you know when I talk to you about the Texas Nationalist movement that I'm not just up here doing a song and dance. I am a Vietnam veteran, which means I'm old, and I like to have fun while we do these things, so y'all laugh at the proper times, okay? I'm a Vietnam veteran. I am a Texas boy, but after I got out of the service, I, like a lot of other people, have lived other places before I came back home, and I absolutely lost my mind and found a job in Michigan, and I was a Michigan State Trooper for 10 years. Until I decided to give away my snow shovel and come back home. So I have a background in law enforcement, and I was an aircrew member in Vietnam. Now, what that means, and what I want to get over to you tonight is this. I did not make this decision about Texas independence easily or quickly. I come from a long line of veterans. I love the United States of America, and so does the Texas Nationalist movement. Our grievance is with the federal government, which is, I imagine, why most of you are here tonight, okay? So, I want you to understand when we talk about the United States, the other 49 states, we are talking about that little circle called Washington, D.C. But we talk about freedom, and we talk about liberty, and we talk about independence. Now, when you're done tonight, if you don't like that, that's your privilege to do so. If you like that, I'm going to go ahead and start off tonight. If many of you have not been to the Texas Nationalist website, I urge you to go there. There is a plethora of information. Some of it we may or may not cover tonight, but it's all there. We have been in existence for 16 years, folks. This is not about Barack Obama. This is about a progressive movement that started over 85 years ago in this United States. A progressive movement that started taking away the sovereignty of the individual nation states. We were set up under the original Constitution as independent nation states. We, the states, put that federal government together to accomplish a few things, the defense and commerce and things like that. Through the years, and I use this analogy, through the years this cake has been baking for a long time. All this administration did was light the candles, all right, and bring it to the forefront of what people are concerned about. Now this election brought to the forefront that people are finally had enough. They're going to get off the couch and they're going to speak their piece. The reason these folks are here tonight from the TV stations is because there's all these petitions going to Washington, D.C. saying we want our sovereignty, 27 states, we want our independence, we want our liberty. Now they're not coming from the Texas Nationalist movement. Again, we've been doing this, we've been preaching this for 16 years. But what it has done is it's brought to light that there's a whole lot of people out there that have said, enough, that's enough. We're not going to let it go any further down the toilet. We're going to stand up and we're going to talk about things. So that's why a lot of you are here tonight. But I want you to know at the Texas Nationalist movement, we've been talking about this for a long time. We have watched the steady deterioration of the sovereignty of our home state. We are here tonight, by the way, let me share this with you. We are here tonight to talk about Texas. We live in Texas, we vote in Texas, we are the sovereign of Texas. You and me, the people. And that's all we have control over. People ask us all the time, well, there's 27 states, can we form another confederation with the Texas Nationalist movement? No. We are about Texas. Will we become an alliance with other people? You bet. But not a confederation. Our organization is about Texas and Texas alone. And I want everybody to make sure that you understand that. There's another thing I want everybody to understand before we start talking any further. As I told you, I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm also a police officer. I spent 10 years on the south side of Detroit. I've seen all the violence I want to see. Now I live in the real world, but I will tell you right now, if you are going to take a look at the Texas Nationalist movement, and it is a huge movement, we have members all over the world and in the armed services active right now. But we have one thing that we live by. This is a peaceful legislative movement, period. We don't have a militia branch, we don't go there, and we won't go there. Now, I'm a fan of Gandhi, so I'm not opposed to a little protest every once in a while. I'm certainly not opposed to carrying signs, not opposed to carrying signs or applying political pressure. But folks, this is a peaceful legislative movement. It must be done that way. I always tell everybody, if anybody brings violence to Texas, it will not be this organization or this movement. And that is dead adamant. Now you'll see many of you have been on our Facebook page. We allow people to go on Facebook, excuse me, and make a comment. If you go on there and you make a violent comment, your comment will be stricken and you will be blocked from Facebook. We do not go there. Oh, Brian, welcome. We don't go there. So I want to make that perfectly clear right up front, who we are and what we are about. Now folks, the history of the TNM is very simple. We have been here for 16 years. The president, Daniel Miller, who right now is filming for Sean Hannity tonight, the president, Daniel Miller, started this organization 16 years ago because he too saw that this federal government was headed in the wrong direction. And he is probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know about Texas history and about our government and about the government and the history of the United States. You do not want to get into a debate with him, all right? Trust me, you really don't. Because he will, the governor doesn't want to get into it. Should I say especially the governor doesn't want to get into a debate with him. That was a joke. But he started this because he found that Texans were looking for a home. They were looking for leadership. You sit on the couch, like I used to do many years ago, sit on the couch, and when the news broadcast was over, or the talking head, the pundit was done, I was chunking stuff at the television, screaming and hollering, going down the wall, and beating on the walls in the hallway. And my wife said, you know, Texas just needs to secede and become an independent republic again. Now I'm the executive director. I'm second in charge behind Daniel. That day I turned around and looked at my wife and I said, "Are you crazy?" But I started what each and every one of you are going to hopefully start tonight. In the TNM we call it the journey. Folks, a lot of people right now excuse me, I'm kind of having to speak real loud, so y'all pardon me when I cough a little bit. Hopefully a lot of you will start the journey tonight. And that journey is this, folks. We have two phases of the Texas Nationalist movement. One is where we engage the legislature from the governor's office on down. We have spent the last two sessions, a lot of us have spent the last two sessions up there talking about Texas independence, trying to make common sense to the people in Austin, which, by the way, I believe is a mini-me of Washington, D.C. in very many ways, right? And talking to the rhinos and talking to the people who talk a good game when they're running for election and don't seem to get much done when they're in Austin. But we are up there talking to them constantly. I will share with you, and I won't share any names with you because we're not going to out anybody going into a new session. There are those sitting in Austin, Texas right now that concur with our stance on Texas independence. You need to know that. But that portion of our organization concentrates on political pressure on the politicians in Austin. Now, the second part of our program is this. I always tell people, when you join our organization, you become a foot soldier of the Texas Nationalist movement, because everybody has to go through this journey. You wake up one day and you go, Texas should be independent. The first thing somebody says to you is, why? Well, just 'cause. Well, how? Well, I don't know, just 'cause. You know? What we urge everybody to do, and what we spend all of our time doing, and what Brian Carlin would be spending his time doing, folks, is starting the educational process. When we get into the Q&A tonight, I'll guarantee I already know the questions that I'm going to be asked tonight. And some of them will have to do with why and how and all of that stuff, but I know what they're going to be. Because the educational process will keep you from making a knee-jerk reaction. The educational process will allow you to do what Texas has to do. Remember I said we are the sovereign? We are the political pressure that must be applied in Austin, Texas for this thing to happen in Texas. You can send all the petitions in the world that you want, and you want to know what they do with them? You don't want to know what they do with them. They go in the garbage. All right? They go, ha, those crazy Texans. That's exactly what is going on in Washington right now. You'll get a response, you won't like it. Texas will get a response and you won't like it. But folks, Article 1, Section 1 of our Constitution says all political power is inherent in the people. That's us. You folks have got off the couch and started that political pressure, and it starts here tonight. So we have two ways that we work. One with the politicians and one educating the people of Texas. We're going to tell you when you go to our website, your job in the Texas Nationalist movement, you can have a lot of jobs, but your number one job is to start talking to your family, to start talking to your friends, to start talking to your neighbors, and have them complete their journey and understand that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of options. People are going to look at you and say, well, we've got the 10th Amendment. Anybody in here tell me the last major law coming out of Washington, D.C. that got turned over by the 10th Amendment?
Voter ID.
No, got nullified by the 10th Amendment.
No, national ID.
Well, but from our end, I'm talking.
Is that the Sedition Act?
Basically, it's none is what I'm talking about here. It doesn't get used. And when it does get used, it's one law at a time. We have tens of thousands of laws that have come out of Washington, D.C.
Right.
You know? And so it would take thousands of years to get us back to a form of government, a constitutional republic, like I would assume everybody sitting in here tonight would like to see again. So that option basically is gone. Well, we can wait for the next election. We can change things in the next election. Who in here is age 62? Anybody? How'd that work out for you? Because I've been voting that long too. Didn't work out. It didn't work out. I know it. See,
Didn't go plan that.
folks, everybody wanted to sit around and say, let's wait to the next election and we'll change it. And you go out and God bless the Tea Parties, because they stood up and said, we're going to find some citizen politicians by golly, they're going to go up there and they're going to do things differently. They're going to change things. How'd that work out for you? It didn't. It didn't, my friends. So basically, what's that? Got Ted Cruz elected. 1 out of about 60. Ain't bad.
But he ain't there.
He's not there yet. I agree. I like that too. But basically, sitting around and waiting for another vote has not worked out, folks. And now we're down to another 4 years, and we all know where this is headed. We are sitting here in Texas, like I said, when Daniel Miller put this together. We're sitting here in Texas watching the Environmental Protection Agency come in here and destroy our businesses. We can't drill in the Gulf of Mexico anymore. You can't put a well on your property anymore because it's probably going to be a wetland. You can't get a new permit to open up coal-fired plants to put electricity to the people of Texas because this administration doesn't like oil-based products. Folks, those are crushing regulations that are changing the state of Texas, changing the economy of the state of Texas, and damn sure well changing the culture of Texas. And the Texas Nationalist movement said, enough. Enough. I want to read you something here. I put my old man glasses on. This is our mission statement, and it's a big one. But it's not written because it's warm and fuzzy or sounds good. It's written because this is what we believe, and this is what we do. The Texas Nationalist movement exists to secure and protect the political, cultural, and economic independence of the nation of Texas, and to restore and protect a constitutional republic and the inherent rights of the people which are being taken away from us on a daily basis. Amen. Anybody heard? Amen. Anybody hear recently on the TV that we are averaging 68 new regulations a day coming out of Washington, D.C.? Folks, enough is enough. Now people want to, like I said, they want to fix it. We can use the 10th Amendment to fix. We can use restoration. We can vote again to fix. Folks, it's not happening. It's going the other way, and it's going the other way out of control. May I be bold enough, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't play politically correct games. All right? The federal government is broken. And I do not know if it can ever be fixed again. People asked me tonight in some interviews, well, do you not like the United States of America?